coming out. I do think it is going to be a champ that is rising in priority, though. It feels like every time Poppy comes out, it looks ridiculously effective. It is so strong in the meta. There's so many dash champs, so many playmaking champions that can be shut down. With supports moving away from enchanters and more towards engage, you're getting even additional value there. You're getting value against a lot of the meta junglers and top laners. So makes sense.
I think Keeper's Verdict also is such an easy button to press later on in the game to get a team fight in your favor, right? You see someone with good setup, you just knock a few of them away, and you're having a much better time. The Orianna, though, is going to be taken away, and there is the Rumble ban. And I don't know whether there's been enough homework done as far as first pick Ryze is concerned, but the Jarvan taking it away from Hizto feels like a pretty good move here for Tian.
Yeah, absolutely does. Getting Tian on a playmaker, to me, he is the star of this team. I think he is their best performing player when I look to the LPL. I feel like he really was in some of his best form that I've seen him in a long time. He has really been smurfing it. So it is going to be a big challenge here for Hizto, who's kind of the engine of the Secret Whales, really is their star. But I think the question on everyone's mind is really how is the early game going to hold up for TSW? We heard the devs talking about it. D-Ray has received a lot of criticism for his play internationally. In regional play, you know, he's one of their top candidates for MVP. He's looking incredibly good. He's such a playmaker. But when you go international, there is kind of a bar, right? And that is something that, you know, our teams have struggled with for years too. And really everyone in the West except Caps has kind of struggled with. And you have to be this tall to ride, right? You have to be able to beat a Faker or a Creme or a Rookie or a Knight.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like Creme had a bit of that in the past as well, right? Where as soon as he went internationally, things were a little bit more problematic. And so maybe he can learn something from Creme here today. D-Ray on the Ryze this time around, though, as we can see the Jayce locked in as well as the Ziggs, expecting the Ziggs to go towards Jackie, but obviously it's a bit of a flex. And Hizto onto the Lee Sin here for some earlier playmaking. And I like that. And Hizto, certainly a man that can make this one work. But we're going to have to see a lot from them early on in this game. All right, some more bans to come on through here. Looking at some bot lane champs for TES. They want to take those away. On the other side, I think we want to try and save the top lane. The Shen going to be taken away first, though, and that could be either support or top, so that feels like it's doing double duty.
Yeah, it absolutely could. You know, we have been seeing more Shen support these days, obviously. He actually got brought out in the series against the Secret Whales. Delight was playing it. We've seen, you know, a number of supports are at least practicing in solo queue, even if they haven't brought it out on stage just yet. But TES obviously compositionally shaping up to be a poke style composition. You have Ziggs, you have this Jayce, and you are going to be looking to just kind of soften them up, then hard engage with the Jarvan. You can see on the other side it is much more about the hard engage, and that's why TES is banning out things like the Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa and Nautilus, such a classic pairing that we saw all the time back when Kai'Sa was really, really popular. Obviously has fallen out of the meta somewhat, but is still a popular pick, and the Camille pairing going to get banned for Ziggs. Which kind of leads me to wonder, you know, are we going to get something along the lines of a Rell, or are you going to get the more spicy stuff, like even a Pyke, or you know, how crazy are they going to get?
Yeah, I think Camille and Pyke seem to be the two that are picked interchangeably in these lanes, but often the Pyke is more popular with the Mel, but we'll see whether it is going to be something they take into the Ziggs at the same time. I think you could also just very happily pick a Leona here and be okay with it. Yeah, exactly. Anything with a bit of engage. Last ban going to be that Sivir to be taken away from Eddie, so not going to have that later game scaling. I don't think he's going to be too worried about it, though. And we'll see. I feel like they're going to play Jhin.
I think so too. I was going to say, because, you know, there's kind of a couple different options for AD carries. If your team is playing hard engage, you can dive alongside them, which is the Kai'Sa. You can kind of enable them to go in and just ricochet through, which is the Sivir, obviously. Jhin is another one of those options. Senna is also something that does really fit the bill. It's a good pairing with Nautilus. You have that ultimate over-the-top, shielding people up, allowing them to go in with that dive. Also gives you some pretty good sustain against a poke-heavy comp here, like the Ziggs, as well as that Jayce, and it's going to be Rell Yone snap down here for Fengyue and Creme.
Yeah, the Creme Yone to come in here. This is pretty exciting. In game number 1 as well as Pun. He thinks it might be a Volibear day. This would be just signature picks all over the place. If the Volibear is going to be locked in here, but maybe it's Bie just playing with our hearts. And Olaf being a consideration, still feeling fairly northern as we get a Viking instead of a Polar Bear. And that will be the lock-in here towards the top side of the map. And this Olaf really could get out of control, especially when Senna is supporting him later on into the game.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, Olaf can be a problem. and you're going to be able to ignore most of the CC, but something that you can't ignore is the Cataclysm, right? So I do worry a little bit about that potential interaction. If you do get stuck in and then Tian just kind of flag and drags out and people hit you can just run through walls still, which is one of the problems that Olaf sometimes can still have. That being said, pretty powerful dive here. The ability to play side lanes is obviously there for D-Ray on the Ryze. Eddie can help to support that with Senna ults. You can look for plays. But I think at the end of the day, the real question that's going to tell us, can TSW swing with TES is the early game. Because if you get blown out in the lanes, the compositions don't really matter. The strategy doesn't really matter. You have to be able to stay within striking distance to even have a chance, because the LPL and the LCK teams are so good at team fighting. If you fall down early, you're just completely screwed. Yeah,
it does feel a little bit like it's a two-step game for TSW. Not only do they need to keep themselves up in the laning phase, but they also need to be able to turn on a dime, because otherwise they will get poked out of every single situation. And so they have to be incredibly decisive and make sure that they can stand toe-to-toe against top esports, which is going to be a difficult ask here, especially with their backs against the wall. Let's get onto the Rift here for game number 1 and see who is going to keep themselves alive in the tournament.
Ignite Jayce. So Zuian is getting a little bit spicy here. He's saying, yeah, you want to go to 6, you want to play slow, look for an all-in on me. What if I just threaten the all-in on you pre-6? That is something that is very, very scary. Obviously, post-level 6, Olaf pops Ghost. If he actually hits on the axes, then there's not a lot Jayce can do. Jayce is going Storm Raider Surge, though, as an answer, and I would not be surprised at all if Zuian does go early Swifties.
Well, there you saw the Jayce, and coming out in Riftbound's upcoming set, Vendetta, and the full release comes out on July 31st. So you can be like Zuian. All right, D-Ray versus Creme here in this mid lane. This should be D-Ray with a fair bit of control in the earlier stages, but we know Creme pretty good at navigating the matchup and should be able to get to that level 6 relatively comfortably. And Bie not going to quite find the dredge line there as we get the crash down from Fengyue. And JackeyLove taking a bunch of damage here. Eddie trying to throw some of these piercing darknesses down, but this is the problem, especially if you do miss bouncing bombs. There's just not going to be a whole lot of damage here in this lane. As Bie, okay, we are walking towards Jackie, seeing what they can get done, instead changing their mind, moving over towards Fengyue now. And it looks like control for the lane here on TSW's side.
I like it. I mean, I think using the heal early, they obviously took some pretty aggressive trading at level 1, use the heal early, try to force your advantage in that 2v2, because JackeyLove is playing TP, so you cannot allow them to get the push. If Jackie gets the push as TP Ziggs, he's going to have the wave at your tower, he's going to base TP back full mana, and you are going to be lane locked or you're going to be losing plates. So TSW knows they need to fight for the push because they are down that teleport.
Well, let's see how this one is going to go. As Eddie, good sidestep so far.
And this is kind of the question on everyone's mind. Can the whales perform like the oysters? Because the oysters, they showed up and they were really surprising people. CFO beat TES at first stand. They were going toe-to-toe with the very best teams in the world, taking them down or pushing them to the limits here. And they really did shock the world. But this team was clearly the best team in their league. And then it all kind of got broken up. Some of them went to the LPL, everything.
This is the thing, there's a lot of names there that you can recognize that aren't necessarily in the LCP anymore.
Yeah, and that's kind of the question now on everyone's mind, because TSW came in, they were able to kind of take over that spot as the clear #1 team. But does that mean they can replicate the success of CFO? Well, thus far, no, but that remains to be seen, because obviously HLE is a ridiculously hard opponent. Top, I think, should be more manageable, but still really good.
Ooh, trying to get the sidestep here, but Eddie going to get satcheled back. JackeyLove has him in his sights. One more auto will do it as Tian makes his way down. Barrier last second, but first blood still going to go over to Jackie. They do get a flash out of Tian, but that is the best they can hope for.
Really well played there by Fengyue and Jackie. I don't even know if they needed Tian, to be honest, but he shows up, helps out, does get that assist, and...
All right, Pun, let's see whether he can make this one work. He's on fire for now, gets himself the shield and the solo bolo for Pun in the top lane.
That is huge, because that is an Ignite Jayce. I'm shocked Zuian never tried to flash an axe there in that 1v1. Maybe he was thinking that he was going to get the hammer form knockback back up in time to be able to knock him away and then use the flash after and some sort of ability to outplay, but he popped the Ignite, got him low, tried to wait out the shield, but then just never flashed. And generally, any all-in against an Olaf, you gotta flash an axe. Like, that is That is objective number 1.
Yeah, that's what you have to do. Maybe he was just thinking that if I flash, he flashes, and I die anyway, even if the axe is missed, but
then you're not slowed, right? So we got to watch it one more time. First axe connects. He has him on the ignite. He's trying to wait out the W. W gets used, goes into melee form, did not flash the axe, and then realizes, oh god, I made a mistake.
Yeah.
When he went back into melee form, he's point blank. So that second axe, you would have to predictively flash it. You know, you're not going to be able to react to that. The first one he could have flashed, but you know, he was full health. So I just kind of think he misread and misplayed. When he went melee form, I'm wondering if he kind of forgot about the Olaf W in his calculations.
That's what I was thinking as well. It's sort of what it looked like there. As Zuian is going to get at least the shove back in. Jayce will still have a fair bit of control in this lane. As we can see, a few CS in the lead, but Pun in a great position now. And Creme and Dire, yeah, still just fighting this one out. Dire actually doing a great job in lane so far, though.
And is it exciting to see him get ahead? Because remember, this game against HLE, my man was 1v9 on the Volibear up there.
Oh, yeah.
He was actually winning them fights with everyone in his team, like thousands of gold behind.
It made absolutely no sense that the gold lead was as large as it was when you saw him in team fights. Yeah. Because they could not kill him. TS, though, are going to be unperturbed by what's happening on the top side of the map, though, as they move over towards this dragon, look to lock down the first one.
Yeah, it looks like they will be able to do that, but TSW are moving over.
Oh, another anchor. Bie has been fantastic with these. It is going to be Tian locking down the Drake, but Jackie is in a lot of trouble. He is going to hold on to the flash and still go down. That is another kill as well, as Dire is able to lock down the Rell. And TSW off to a great start. 3-1 so far in kills, and starting to build a gold lead.
That is huge. Jackie intelligently does not use his flash because D-Ray was waiting over the wall for him. Yeah. So he would have just donated it to the Ryze instead. TSW realized, all right, maybe we're too late for the dragon, but Tian is still hitting the dragon, and the fight has already broken out here. Hizto is on top of Jackie, and this is what I'm talking about. If you flash over the wall there, D-Ray is waiting, so you'll just give the kill to the Ryze. So Jackie just accepts his death, has to hold on. And BA was behind him. The Senna was coming in as well. This is just really well played early game by TSW. So we asked the question, can they hold up in the early game?
Yeah.
So far, check, check.
Well, this is the thing. Both of the steps have kind of been done as well, because you saw they were laser focused in that last fight. It wasn't like, let's steal a Drake. Hizto was nowhere near the dragon. Didn't care about it at all. They knew their targets, and they pulled the trigger. I think a lot of it based on BA, who is just landing anchor after anchor on this Nautilus. Looking fantastic so far. Hizto looking to steal away a red buff. This could be dangerous, though, as Fengyue is moving down. And is going to catch wind of it. Does just move himself out of the way. Is now Creme getting aggressive, but put in prison, and that's going to stop that one for now.
Yeah, Fengyue spent quite a bit of time up in that top lane brush. He was trying to help out Zuian, who has fallen behind. They were hoping that Pun would look for another all-in, and then the Rell was just kind of sitting behind him in that brush. Then obviously Hizto gets spotted on that control ward. So then he's going to go over there and try to help him out. Pun has got to get back to the lane. He's kind of just trying to decide what to do.
He's just going to run it. Zuian. Dire is going to move his way up towards that top side. The flash out. The ignite was ticking, but it's not going to work. And Hizto is going to lock down the kill. He brought his friends this time. No solos for Pun, but he's pretty happy to get another kill for his team.
Get by with a little help from my friends.
Exactly. The Beatles said it, and it needs to be respected. Absolutely.
Yep, absolutely. And in this case, you know, we saw Zuian trying to actually, you know, bait him on that play with Fengyue behind him, and then in this case, Pun is able to actually bait Zuian. So he goes in. Pun was taking so much free damage, was down to half health before he even popped his ult and went for it. But he knew he had 4 members in the area, is able to survive, barely lives, and now Hizto scrapping.
Yeah, Tian taking a bit of damage here, but Fengyue is going to make his way in before BA gets here. There's the kickback though, Cataclysm, safeguard immediately up, but there's the knockoff. Mega Inferno Bomb, not quite enough, but Creme is there to lock up the kill. Still it's a 1-for-1. Both junglers down, and Creme is on the wrong side of the map. And Dire has got a prism with his name on it. There's an undertow to connect. I don't know why there's a Viking here, but he is. And Pun is going to look to grab the kill. Dire is going to take it away. And this is turning into a real snowball, despite the fact that Zuian is up here towards the top side getting some damage on this turret.
Yeah, that is huge, because this is Dire now in a great position. His laning has really been his weakness internationally, and now he's kind of gotten past that. He has a 1K gold lead. Hizto is taking this fight, and he's taking it so aggressively because he knows that he's going to have the Senna ultimate. He knows that BA is coming. He knows that Pun is coming.
Beautiful.
They were ready for an aggressive fight here. Pun just says, I'm going to drop waves. I will be here for the fight. Creme does get in and get a kill, but D-Ray's behind him. Pun is here. BA is here. There's no real way for him out, so his objective just became buying time for Jayce to get plates.
All right, well, we are 3-man on the grubs for now. Looks like Hizto's not going to be able to do anything about it, especially with, yeah, it's a 5-man. There's a Jayce and a Yone on the flanks, and so they'll say, yep, you guys can have that one, and they will just get waves shoved out. You can see Pun is able to get that one shoved forward, and there is a Senna in the bottom lane as well. So TSW doing good homework here as a response.
Yeah, I mean, this one seemed a little bit of an overcommitment as well. I wonder if TES are like, well, you're going to send Pun for just a random scrap on bot side? Surely you sent 5 here, so we need everyone.
Yeah,
there's no TP
maybe
bot.
they were baited by the extra crazy that was happening earlier. They're like, well, I guess we just need to group for everything. Otherwise, we're just going to be giving away picks.
Because now, as a result, they do drop a wave or 2 bot. They lose a place to Eddie. They push in mid and lost some minions there. So TSW, yeah, they do lose the grubs. And it is really good comp to play with grubs. Obviously, you have Ziggs as well as Jayce for pushing lanes. But still, TSW play the map well, and they're up 2K at 10 minutes is just not something I thought I would be telling you.
No, this is precisely what they need as well for a composition like this. And this is the other thing that we have to talk about. If they ever get a snowball rolling, making it work later on is actually pretty comfortable with a champion like Olaf, as long as he can get out of the way of these cataclysms. There's the hammer boot back as Zuian is at least able to wait out the Ragnarok, and will be able to at least get some control here. But Pun is real frightening, still without his first item completed. That is going to make things even worse.
Yeah, and he did trade his ultimate out there, but he got the Ignite from Zuian, and he didn't use any of his summoners. So next time he has the Ghost back up, next time he has that ultimate back up, he could look for that window before the Ignite comes back up. And Zuian using the Storm Raider Surge very well there. Pun should be okay because he does spot these guys coming in, but he is going to have to evacuate and at least give up a plate or 2.
Yeah, he is just leaving. Tian is going to come on over and make this Cataclysm work. See whether it does happen. As never mind, just going to give a good old thumbs up and back the heck out of there. So no flag and drag ulti or anything like that from Tian. Was a little bit worried that everyone's going to show up. And I feel like the Secret Whales are in the heads of top esports right now.
They are. And because they went for that chase, Tian clearly thought he was going to be able to get in range for the Cataclysm. He thought he had the angle to actually catch up to him. Zuian was not hitting the tower during that whole time. So yes, you are still going to deny a couple minions, but it's a cannon wave, so Pun won't lose as much. It is just that one additional plate that ends up going down. D-Ray already has completed his Roa. His tier is stacking up. Things are looking really, really good for TSW. And like you said, their composition is not complicated. You're going to go in, you're going to press Nautilus R on one of the carries. Olaf presses R, runs in, Senna ults over the top. Like, they know how to play this, right? You don't have to get too fancy. Whereas TES, it's going to be about, can we land enough poke to engage ourselves, or can we land enough poke to at least make TSW just back off and not take the fight?
Yeah, and there are certainly options for the TS composition, and I think as the game goes later as well, they will have a lot of damage. Their damage profile is very nice, but right now it's not necessarily working for them. And TSW
right
in
on
a
that
great
profile.
spot. Yeah, precisely. It's just hard. Okay, Bie going to move up towards his top side, is distracted by a control ward. We'll be smacking that one with his anchor, but it looks like JackeyLove will just push this wave out, and then Pun just clears this one up himself. Having a look at where the next objective is going to be, probably around this Herald in 2.5 minutes. An option for TSW to break open the map here a little bit more as well, because I think that that will really help them out.
I agree completely, and Herald is just always scary against the Ziggs team because they have 3 grubs. If you take Herald, you get a charge, and then you basically can just satchel and execute that thing.
Yep.
So it almost guarantees you will just get the full turret, which I think is going to raise the priority for both teams, right? TSW are going to want to stop that. TES are going to really want to secure that to be able to get themselves first tower gold, which is still up and available, because as much action as there has been, no towers have yet fallen.
It's just champions that we want to be killing here in this game, and I've kind of been enjoying it. So far, only 8 in the 13 minutes we've had, so maybe we could have that action accelerate, but that's probably not what TS want to happen. They want to slow this one down, get money onto Jackie, who does at least have that first item spike. Someone that has worked with Orcs for quite some time, I do know that first item Ludens is big strong. Okay, Creme, taking some damage. It's Hizto over the wall, does have Bie there as well. Flash ulti could have actually been an option there, but not going for it. And Hizto actually going to go back, looking for Fengyue there as Creme over this side. That's a nice Sonic Wave that's going to connect. Hizto just going to bait him, switch him a little bit.
Having some fun with it.
He is definitely having some fun. As far as the vibes that we're detecting here, it is certainly looking in TSW's favor.
Yeah, the vibes are looking good, and that was a subtle thing, but Fengyue, I think, had the read that they could be going for Creme. So when Creme was going to snap back, Hizto wanted to actually land a Sonic Wave on him, but Fengyue was standing in between him and where that would be to block any chance of that, and we can see in the Coinbase gold grind, D-Ray opening up a big lead here, 1.3K ahead.
This was not the gold grind I was expecting to see.
No.
I was, but I was expecting to see it on the other side.
A little flip.
Yeah, because Creme has been having a great year, just not having a great game, as he is put in prison, but able to win out on this trade quite nicely. And once you get towards item number 1, obviously, I mean, it's not all doom and gloom. He is the Yone that wants to hit one item and then start going ballistic, but he's staring down the barrel of a 1.3K gold advantage, and it's a Ryze. He will not stop doing more damages.
Yeah, this champion is going to become very resilient. And when Ryze gets to 3-4 items, it becomes tough, I think, for TES to take him down.
Well, Bie is dealing with 3 people, but he is able to flash away really nicely. Kickback is gorgeous onto Fengyue. They are going to be able to take him down first as Tian in with the Cataclysm. Everyone getting out, but it's the Olaf that just dives into everyone. Mega Inferno Bomb will help put him down, but not before Dire has taken out the Jayce. They get rid of JackeyLove as well. There's the damage missing, and TSW can do no wrong today.
They are looking incredible here. 10-3, a 3K gold lead. They'll take the Herald as well, as TES kind of inexplicably hard force on what felt like the Nautilus.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the Nautilus is a little far off.
And look at the flash as well. I mean, there is vision in that brush, but it was still a gorgeous flash angle.
Yeah, and look at this kick here from Hizto. Ward hops back, gets a 2-man kick, and then the TP from Zuian. He had nowhere else to teleport, but that spot was so difficult. He's forced to instantly flash. He's CC'd by Bie and D-Ray, but then he goes over the wall directly into the Olaf. Nice sidestep on Creme's ult. And they just get rolled in the fight, and look at them. They are pumped up about it. TSW here to play today.
Yeah, they are. Coaching staff, though, not counting any chickens. I didn't see any counting there, and in fact, everyone is still feeling very measured. Yes. Don't worry, plenty of counting in my house, even if you can't talk yet. We're just practicing. 3,000 gold, the lead, though. Still going to be the situation here for TSW as they look for the first Ocean Drake of the game. Going to get them to double dragon here as Bie. Man, his Nautilus really has just been so impressive so far today.
I mean, I'm just going to highlight the jungler's item.
Oh.
And you can do with that what you will. Because
wait, they didn't color in the axe correctly. That looks like a small rock.
It does look like a small rock.
Is that Is that a typo?
A red square in his pocket.
Huh.
That's tough.
That's 20 rupees.
D-Ray, he's got his second item as well. So I'm going to repeat that. We got this, we got this, and then we got, he doesn't even have a rock.
Hey, we talk about this all the time, though. The one item spike of the Yone, the Blade of the Ruin King.
Exactly.
Just don't look on the other side of the screen where Ryze hits one of the most famous 2-item spikes already. Without getting his Seraphs there. There is the Cataclysm into this mid lane as Eddie already going to be flashing out of the way. Fengyue is a bit too far forward though. Booted back and taken down. Bie though is just going to try and take a Shelly exit, but she was on no health, so that's not going to work. A trade of supports probably favors TES given the game state.
But when you realize that Olaf is top hitting your tower, that was a 5v4. Then I'm going to say it goes the other way because they kill the mid lane tower. He's taking plates and denying CS top.
Shelly was there on Secret World.
Shelly was there.
Yeah.
We'll give you a solid half. So that's a 5 versus a 4.5.
Yeah, 4.5.
Shelly was doing her best.
But yeah, with Pun in the top lane.
I'm sorry, Shelly. I didn't mean to slander you.
You know what? All she does gets headaches bumping into turrets, so I can understand. Zuian realizing that he just cannot be in the top lane. The fear of that guy is just too much. A bit of a test of the 1-item spike compared to 2-item spike. I think I know where the good money's at. And Bie down towards his bottom side, getting some vision in. And spots out the fact that Fengyue is able to get that ward in there. There's my first dire of the day, but that will continue, I assume, as that is a great anchor once again. Dawning Shadow, not quite doing too much, but does give out some shields as Creme is able to get himself out of there.
Does have to use his flash, though, so things looking a little dire for TES.
There we go. That's what I meant to say. It sounded like it was a noun, but no, that's not what I was saying.
D-Ray also, his tier is fully stacked, his Archangels is ready, and he's at 8 stacks of the Roa. So before 20 minutes, he's going to have everything fully online, already going to be working in towards his 3rd item.
Another anchor to collect Tian. And man, they are suffocating them. Like, TSW are everywhere. they're not a secret, you know? The whales are just there.
Team
and they're really
whales.
big. Yeah, team very much their whales. As Hizto, he is very much there as well. He's going to find JackeyLove as there is the resonating strike kick. Not sure about that play, though, as he just lands the Q, and that is going to do it. And he knows that he wanted to kind of follow him over that wall.
That one was more secret. He was around the corner.
Yeah, he's like,
they can
wait,
do it all.
where did he go? Oh, man. Still, a nice little kill there, and that just shows the state of the game, right? Like, he finds Jackie, he messes up a little bit, still kills him. There's still not enough of a response from TES if Hizto is in their jungle.
Yeah, it's looking tough. I mean, Jackie is very strong. He is the biggest gold lead on his team. It does have a full damage build here. He has Stork Boots, he's got Shadow Flame, so he's got a lot of flat pen, plus the Ludens as well. He decides to not flash in that play, which I think I can respect. You know, maybe just doesn't feel like it's actually worth it in that moment. You know, maybe Hizto's just going to ward hop after you and kill you anyway. So holds on to that. But the question is, to me, can you actually stop this soul stack? Because Ocean Soul is problematic if you are a poke comp. And this would be even more problematic as they have no vision in the area here.
There is no even attempt. As they do have Creme on the bottom side of the map. Finally, they get some vision as Tian's making his way over. An interruption attempt here from Bie. He can hold Tian in position for quite some time. As Hizto, he should be able to lock this one up. There is the kickback. Flashes back into it. Stolen by JackeyLove of all people. And Tian now gets back over. It is going to be a freebie given there, but still, can TES find more? That is the question. Anchor into the backline as Bie is trying to make something happen. Hizto is being targeted by Creme, but that is going to be the pickoff, and TSW are going to continue their onslaught. They do take the Realm Warp over. They do not want to let any of these Barons get away, but it looks like 3 are going to get out, and man, Jackie just keeps the game alive.
That was heartbreaking because it looked like such a beautiful play from TSW. They throw the Nautilus ult onto Tian. Hizto hops out, kicks him away, flashes back in the pit, and surely you think he has the secure here because they're just burning it down. It looked like this was just brilliantly set up. So there's the Nautilus ult over onto Tian, kicks him away. It is at 1300. Oh, he early smited. He way early smited. He panicked. Oh, no. That is one he's going to want back.
He was trying to do the combination of cool buttons and not realizing the
He didn't even have his Q on the Baron, though.
Yeah.
He smote, and he smoted to 580. So that was not even close. Once he had kicked away Tian, he just needed to go back in the pit, let it get low, finish it off. But
didn't need to press the button. I think got a little bit overexcited.
Heartbreaking. That's a panic moment for sure.
Still, it would have been a very sexy play if it had have worked, and the state of the game is still TSW in a lot of control. They are going to take Soul Point here. It is only an Ocean, but still should be able to get them a whole lot of power, especially against all this poke that is going to be coming out of TS later on in this game. TS not too worried about Drakes, though. They are just looking to clear out these inner turrets, and they will be able to do so. Jackie with the satchel will be able to execute it. And there is still an outer in mid, which is kind of crazy given the fact that they've taken 2 turrets in the top lane. There's an outer in bottom lane as well. But evening things out so far. And TS sort of feeling like they are getting back into the groove.
Yeah, I mean, that Baron steal was game-saving. Yeah. Absolutely game-saving. TSW are still in a good spot. They're still up a couple thousand gold, but their lead is way smaller than it would have been. They are on Ocean Soul Point, which I do think Ocean Soul is going to be difficult for TES to deal with when you're pretty reliant on poke for this comp. You know, you're not likely to win a full
Olaf.
100-0 fight.
With Ocean Soul feels pretty ridiculous as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, you know, Senna sustain plus the additional sustain from the Ocean Soul. Lee Sin is very fed, so Lee Sin's not easy to kill off. So they are going to get good value from it for sure.
Well, let's see what more they can get here at the same time as Hizto clearing out some control vision. There is a Jayce in the bottom lane doing a whole lot of work towards these turrets. I have to go back and think about the 3 grubs that they collected earlier. It is really going to help them try and claw back some gold. I
do not love the skipping actualizer here for Ryze. I just feel like that is the Ryze item.
Oh no, I've been watching too many Chovy videos, you know, he just loves a dash cannon. And look, you understand it, extra mobility for the Ryze does make some sense, but Actualizer is so strong. And what, does he now build an arm guard as well? Like, do you have to...
Or are you skipping Zonias?
Oh, no, you can't skip.
Fourth.
Ugh.
Then where's your death cap? So
yeah. Okay.
I'm not a fan.
No,
but,
I think
we'll see if it works out.
Yeah, hopefully you can sell it later and buy the Void stuff or something like that. But I think Actualizer should be coming in hopefully soon if he wants to keep up the damage. You also are pretty tanky, right? The extra health on the dash cannon is pretty good, especially when you have the Seraph shield and all that sort of stuff. Still just doesn't make you feel very good. I'm sure, like, we shouldn't really talk about it because we know that Orcs is going to talk about it for about 15 minutes after this game. So we'll just leave it to him.
That's not on the Ziggs. He's not going to talk about it, buddy.
He will. He just doesn't like dash cannons being built on absolutely everything. And look, Jackie might build it third, and then we'll be in for a world of hurt. It's okay. 1.7, so it is TES using that Baron to get themselves a little bit further back into this game. 2 minutes on said Baron to respawn, but 2.5 on the Ocean Soul. I actually think this is a beautiful moment for Team Secret Whales to play around this Soul and not really care about claiming it themselves. Just guarantee yourself a Baron, pull TES around the map, and stop them from being able to get that setup that this composition really can play around.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think if they can...
Or just kill Tian. They're going to kick him back, and now... Oh, no! The Viking can't get out of the Cataclysm. It's okay, because the Blind Monk can. Still able to flag and drag his way to safety.
But they get his flash, so it's really good still. Tian's got no flash for the next objective, and I agree. I mean, I think you can pressure Baron if you don't feel like you can get a setup at the Dragon, but I feel like Baron is kind of fake, honestly, in this season, and so I still would prefer that they play towards Soul as long as they can get that setup first. And it's going to be hard for TES to walk in now. With Tian having no flash, if they show up late, the chances of him getting into steal are pretty low. So
what about Jackie, though?
That's pretty high, apparently. Yeah. Based on our one attempt, he's 1 for 1. So
1 out of 1, 100%
that's
of Barons have been stolen by JackeyLove so far today, which I think is a very, very large number for an AD carry who is currently playing a mage. Well, we'll see whether it can happen again. Maybe Lightning can indeed strike twice.
Jackie's on 3 items, has his Void Staff now as well.
And that's not a dash cannon. So we've avoided even more, which is absolutely fantastic. That is huge damage potential. You're exactly right. From the Ziggs. All right. Are they ready for a team fight, though? That is the big one, because we haven't had too many of them over the last little while. Top Esports really have tried to slow this game down, as Hizto wants to speed it back up again, looking for an angle towards Zuian as JackeyLove with a little bit of a fadeaway. And the Olaf unable to find an angle here as Creme teleports in, does rebind the Soul, and it looks like Team Secret Whales not going to be able to find their angle. They're going to try and get themselves back out of here.
Yeah, that was a very preemptive Olaf ult. You know, generally you want to be pressing that when Nautilus is pressing R, so you have someone guaranteed that you're catching up and hitting. Because they just kited that out so easily, and now Pun without that ult for the big potential Soul fight is a really big deal. So now TSW are going to just start up the Baron here. They're going to try to draw top over to them, but they think better of that as well. Yeah,
half the cooldown on the Ragnarok. It is coming up very quickly. We'll see whether they can wait that out before they actually do start a fight. Bie taking so much damage. This is what we were scared about from the very beginning, just after the draft. This is what this top esports composition is capable of, right? If you are indecisive, they will just poke you down, and you won't be able to do anything even if you do find an angle.
Well, they're back to the Baron. They're saying, nope, Creme, you cannot go solo that Dragon. Bie has base. He's coming back out, and Eddie can keep them pretty healthy. So they're buying time well. Ragnarok's up in a couple seconds here, so they could actually look for a fight when Bie gets back.
Yeah, well, looking for an angle right now is down to 50% is Pun, but he does have that Ragnarok like you were talking about. Fengyue looking for a bit of an angle, but Bie gets in there first. There's the knockup. They take out the Jayce Dawning Shadow to keep the team alive as Tian. Cataclysm on top of the Senna, but it's not going to do anything. He's just going to kill everyone around him. It's a double for Dire. JackeyLove goes down for the triple. Can they give him the quadra? That's the question. Pun says no. Eddie's just going to collect it. They'll take a Baron, though, and Team Secret Whales, 4K gold lead. They look like they're about to win game 1.
That's 5 for 1 at the Baron. They're going to get Baron and Soul and an ace. What a start to this series for TSW. And that fight, let's be honest, it wasn't even really close. The initial engage was great. Bie, no hesitation, gets back. They're straight on to the Jayce. He is just one shot. Then look at Eddie. Fengyue says, let's send it on to Eddie, but it's just Tian and Fengyue back there. There's no damage. No one is going to be able to actually knock him down. And on the other side, Hizto and D-Ray are so fed. They're wiping through the rest of TES. Fengyue can do nothing. TSW, they get it all.
Yeah, they get the Soul as well, as you can see picture in picture. And I swear, like Eddie's positioning in that fight as well, absolutely gorgeous. So much of top esports' composition is front-loaded, as BA might be in a little bit of trouble, but he's a pretty tanky Nautilus. There's the root, and down will go Tian. No options. Kickback is gorgeous onto Fengyue. It's a setup for the anchor as Hizto and BA. Man, this is a gang squad that are working so beautifully. Creme, oh dear, he is going to have to go back to that blind monk, and Hizto will find him. Another anchor comes in. TSW are just styling on them. Jackie will be able to get a kill back though, as BA a little bit overly aggressive, but there is Pun flashing on forward, picks up the kill, and TSW, I think they just want to focus on game number 2 and send this one into the books.
It absolutely looks like they do. They have that wave mid here. Zuian's got to try to clear out the wave as much as he possibly can because Jackie and Creme are dead for a very long time. This next wave is coming up though. I don't know. I don't think they have time to finish. I think it will just be the inhib and then a base.
Yeah, it should be. They will have a lot of their health bars back, though, with this Ocean Soul that has been picked up, but maybe not in time for Fengyue to start some sort of defense engage. There'll just be some undertows being thrown back, and yeah, there'd be a lot of money to spend. We've got a 4,000 gold advantage for Dire. Hizto is exactly the same number. That's an 8-0-10 Ryze. My God, let's have a look at this MasterCard priceless moment of the game, as it's just a bit of a victory lap here for TSW.
Yeah, I mean, TSW, again, it is top engaging on BA. Ocean Soul, Aftershock, Locket. You know, he has so much durability at this point. And then Creme tries to go in and take out D-Ray, but he has the Seeker's arm guard. Hizto is waiting for him as he snaps back, and then BA just full sends it. He gets taken down. Wow, indeed.
Wow, indeed, indeed. As D-Ray is indeed legendary. 9-0-10 as Jackie's lying on the floor. Sometimes we had this issue yesterday, but the replays are difficult. The video game is just accelerating here, but mainly beyond TES. I mean, it's quadruple the kills here for Team Secret Whales. They are close to a 10,000 gold lead as Pun is going to turn Creme unbinding his soul into a, you know, an attempt for a bit of a ghost engage, but he's just running around the enemy base, just having a great time. And the inhibitor's already down in the mid lane. They're going to do the same thing for this top side one, and Top Esports, one last opportunity for a defense, but man, it's going to be so hard. 11,000 gold in the hole. And there's a full Zhonya's done for Dire here. There are 3 items on the Senna. She's starting to scale up. And by starting, I think she's basically at the end, because this game does not have very much left in it unless Top Esports can perform a miracle. Jackie behind his Nexus, trying to use that for protection, but that means these Nexus turrets are in so much trouble. And they're just waiting, letting these minions do the work. As first Nexus turret does go down. The Unbound Soul is going to be able to keep Creme alive, but he still takes so much damage here. Dire just going to be dashing back. And there is the Magna Storm. They try and get on top of the Ryze. Mega Inferno Bomb not doing nearly enough as the Dawning Shadow comes on through. And Fengyue is just going to die as an afterthought. Zuian is going to have to get out of there, but it's Jackie that's mown down. Hizto finds his mark, and it's the Team Secret Whales that take game number 1 over Top Esports. And man, maybe we had this team underestimated. Maybe Homolife Esports are just completely ballistic, and it's Team Secret Whales that should have been the favorites here.
29 kills by Secret Whales alone in 32 minutes. And what a final fight even from BA. Completely stuffed the engage, hooked Tian out of his flag and drag. That was domination. Ox, how you feeling, buddy?
That is a very good question, actually. Before, you know what? We're going to take the scale back that we had in pre-show from